Happening today, the former Memphis police officers charged in the murder of Tyre Nichols are expected in federal court. Justin Smith, Emmett Martin, Demetrius Haley, and Tadarius Bean are facing multiple federal charges, including excessive force, failure to intervene, and witness tampering. Surveillance video shows 29-year-old Nichols was brutally beaten by the officers during a routine traffic stop last year. He later died of his injuries. The former officers also face state charges, including second-degree murder. All have entered pleas of not guilty. And this all comes just 1 week after the release of new audio and video recordings from that incident. ABC's Morgan Norwood joins us now. Morgan, let's start with today's court appearance. This is federal court. Talk to us about the charges that these former officers are facing and what the lawyers on both sides are saying about it.
Yeah, this is definitely a case to watch here. We're talking about 3:30. That's when things will kick off here in federal court. Those former Memphis police officers. So within the next couple of hours, remember, this is a case, that reignited calls for police reform and racial justice. So these officers, we know, were charged with excessive force, failure to intervene, and witness tampering. Their attorneys, Phil, have already argued and filed close to 24 motions on a variety of issues, right? Things including dropping charges altogether. It's unclear how this hearing is going to go. Later today, we may find out how they plea. But the federal leg of this case is definitely one to watch, as one of the 5 officers originally charged in this has already pleaded guilty to federal civil charges and could testify in the case against his ex-colleagues.
Okay, so let's talk about the audio and the video, this new audio and video that were released. What does it show?
Yeah, so we've got 21 hours of newly released audio and video. This doesn't necessarily show us the encounter, right? We don't see much of Nichols, but what it does give is context, what the conversations were like before the arrest, after the beating, even the conversations with his mom. Remember, Phil, we know that he was crying out for his mom during the final moments of his life. So we hear first responders and police suggesting that Nichols was high on drugs, right? His autopsy later finding low levels of alcohol and THC. And then we hear officers tell conflicting stories about what prompted the traffic stop in the first place. For example, one officer saying Nichols drove into oncoming traffic, but later in that same video saying that he stopped at the red light and put his turn signal on. So while we've seen the brutal beating a year ago, that video that, police had released, this new footage helps piece together the timeline, both for the prosecution and the defense. I'd imagine that they're going to be leaning into this as they build their case, both on the federal and the state side.
And you said you're expecting 3:30.
3:30.
All right, we know you'll be watching. Morgan, thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.